All right, P5 solving equations graphically, numerically, and algebraically. I feel like there's more cracks across my screen than there was before. Or maybe not.
Do you have a screen protector?
No. It got smacked at a volleyball game 2 years ago and it's cracked.
Yo, check.
I didn't crack it.
Who did?
A girl from Stonebridge.
Oh, y'all played next Tuesday, right?
Is that why you don't like Stonebridge?
Are you confident, Julia, in that you
No.
guys are going?
What?
Dang. I didn't even finish my sentence.
She's confident we're gonna win.
I asked if she's confident. You said you're gonna win. Before I finished, you said no.
No, I was answering the question of, is that why you don't like Stonebridge?
Oh no. Wait, I like something.
I never said I didn't like them.
How did the girl crack your iPad?
What?
Did she like throw the volleyball on purpose?
She hit it, and it hit my iPad out of the case.
That's a case.
Okay. Huh?
Never mind.
Solve the equation. We're not gonna do that. Scratch that. Not doing number 4. Oh, I lied. Yes, we are doing this. Number 4.
What?
X squared minus 8x equals negative 15. Because it says by finding intercepts. We don't actually have to graph it. I wasn't going to do the graphically part. All right, so we're going to move the 15 over. So x squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. Then I need to factor this so that I can find the intercepts. Yep, negative 5, negative 3. So x minus 5 and x minus 3. So the intercepts then are set each piece equal to 0 and solve. The intercepts are at x equals 5 and x equals 3.
We had to show our work.
Did I?
Nah, that looks like what I do.
It's because there wasn't a number in front of the x squared. If there is, then I mean, if you can, this is what I'll tell you. On the AP exam, except for your response questions, they can't see your work. So if you can factor and not show work, okay.
I got a 40 on the quiz on this list.
Well, maybe you'll get it this time. Number
Do you
6.
remember what you got in a grade on the quiz from the beginning of the
Because I
year?
remember it was like,
It wasn't the beginning of the year.
yeah.
X times 3x plus 11 equals 20.
I think it. Sorry. How to do this one?
So I'm going to distribute and move the 20 over. So 3x squared plus 11x minus 20 equals 0. Is this factorable?
No.
Let me see.
But with decimal numbers, yeah.
Okay, yes, with decimal numbers, so we can't do it. So we are going to have to do this one graphically. So get your calculator and type in 3x squared plus 11x minus 20 to y equals.
How do we know that it's not?
Because 20 goes into 5 before 2 is 10. And that's it.
Well, yeah, factors of 60 that add up to 11. There's not any. I basically just did it and didn't write it down. I just did it in my head. All right, so in y equals, we're going to, well, I'm going to first turn my stat plot off. Daniel, you're going to need to do that also.
I don't have my calculator, so.
Just kidding.
Yep.
All right, y equals, we're going to type this in. So 3x squared plus 11x minus 20. The x is at the top under mode.
Well, wait. Y equals that. Does that mean y equals 0?
No, I'm doing this to graph it.
Oh, okay, so it's not actually y. That's just.
Right. This is just saying like this is how you graph it. Set it up to graph it.
It's a graph.
So then I'm going to do this. I'm trying to find the x-intercept, so I'm going to use my calculator to help me find the intercepts. So hit zoom 6, which is zoom standard. So it comes down through over here. Looks like it's pretty close. It probably is -5. And then over here, it looks like it's probably a little bit bigger than 1. But to figure out exactly what it is, I hit second and trace. And then I can find zeros, which is going to be where it intersects. So I can find my intercepts that way. So 0. The left bound for this side has to go above the axis. Get there eventually. There it is. I had an arrow over pretty far. So you just need to be just above. Hit enter. Then it wants right bound. I went too far. So anywhere down below here or still on this side of the graph, hit enter. And then guess. And so that 0 is at x equals -5. So that is one of my intercepts.
Today is not the day to not have a calculator.
Can I go get one for my lab?
Calculators should always come to class. Yes. All right, the other side, we're going to do it again. So we're going to do second trace again, 0. And then now it's way over here, so I'm going to have to arrow it back around to this side. This time for left bound, though, because of the way that the graph is going, it needs to be below. Where is it?
Are all of my arrows supposed to work? Because mine only wants to go up and down.
Hey, that's because that's how the line goes. You gotta
Like-
keep arrowing it to the left, Charlotte.
Mine only works right and left, but
Charlotte,
are
keep
you
going.
under second trace 0? So it'll actually track the graph.
I thought so.
Hold. Didn't you make that part?
So then once you do the left bound, do the right bound, and then guess. So this 0 is at x equals 1.3 repeating. So that would be the answer to that one.
I might have put it in my. So we
When
don't-
you're finding zeros, you have to hit enter from below, then enter from above.
Well, it's left then right. So in this case, the left of this one over here was above because it's making a U. So it's coming down. So it's the top one is left, the bottom is right. But when I go to this other side, coming from the left, it's going up. So I had to be below first and then above.
So I'd hit enter when it's down here, and then I'd go till it's up, and then hit enter again.
For the second one, yeah.
And it says guess.
Yeah.
1.3636.
Yeah, mine's 1.3 repeating, but close, yeah.
So we don't have to do that annoying thing where we like find the factors and then like choose which one it is. Like that's what we did last year. And this
Well-
seems a lot easier.
This one doesn't have a.
This is a squared
I
one.
can't
Yeah.
directly get it on.
When we did it for the other ones last year, they weren't squared.
Hit second,
They were
Oh,
x cubed or bigger.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hit second trace.
That will work on this, but
Yeah, but
it's
And then
if you have your calculator, use
When
this
it's-
method.
Yeah.
when it's
Basically.
down here, you see how
Yes.
it's blinking
Can I go
down
see if it's
here?
in my locker?
Hit
I don't think
enter,
it is, but it might
And then move.
Charlotte,
to
did
the
you get yours
right so it
working?
goes above the line.
Okay.
Hit enter again, and then it says guess in the corner, and it tells you.
1.33333333.
I got 1.36363636.
Which is 1.4.
And then what do you push to find the guess stuff?
Oh, right here. So
Which one do you push?
I'll go to Graphically.
Do you have the arrow thing?
Oh, so
On what?
my
So
brain's not.
wait, let me show you. Where's your? We have this in calculator.
Why is your arrow thing here? Let's see.
Yeah, can I show you?
What's happening?
Yeah, okay.
Trace.
So here's the graph. Normal
Yeah,
graph.
where do you push?
Hit second trace.
Oh, second
And then
trace.
get
So it goes to
zero.
count.
And then
I got
click
you.
0. Click 2 so that you're on the 0.
Yeah.
And then which one
Oh,
are we
and
finding?
then
Which one
the
do you
one
want to
on the
find?
left.
You want to find the one on the left? So
So then you push up. Yeah, I got it.
hold to the left
Okay.
till it's one above.
Yes.
Well, this one it's right on the point, so you don't have to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was
And then you'll do it over here. The left will be down at the bottom, and then right will be at the top. Alright, are everyone's calculators working?
Yep.
I think my stat plot is still on, but-
Probably is, which will
It's probably-
sometimes cause a diagnostic error or a syntax error.
Last year when I tried to charge my calculator for a week,
That was bad.
Alright, the next ones want us to solve the equation by extracting square roots.
Lord have mercy.
So 2 times x minus 5 squared equals 17.
17.
So we're trying to solve for x, but they tell us that we're going to be doing it by extracting square roots. I won't always tell you what method to use. It will just depend on the situation for what you should do to solve the equation. Okay, 'cause on the exam, they're not going to tell you solve by extracting square roots. They're just going to tell you to solve. And you're going to need to know what your different methods that you have are, which is factoring, extracting square roots, completing the square, quadratic formula, because there probably will be on a no calculator question.
There's gonna be no partial credit on this exam.
Correct. It's all or nothing.
So I'm taking yours.
And they try to give you options that are going to confuse you.
Is there partial credit on like quizzes and tests still?
Yes.
I was afraid for that.
Yes. For my stuff, there's still partial credit. When you get to the exam, there is not. Now, I say that. On the free response part, there's sort of partial credit, but you have to earn the points. So, like, if you get half of the question right, they give you half the points.
Do you have a graphing calculator here I can borrow?
No. I'm leaving and I have Julia's.
Okay. Are you coming back or are you, like, gone?
I'm gone.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
I see you later. Or
See ya.
tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah.
Not later
I
today,
need
just
to
later in
go out
general.
tonight so I can play more.
Get out.
Keep it pushing.
Alright, so to solve first, we need to divide by 2. I can't take the square root yet because this is not completely by itself. So I've got x minus 5 squared equals 17 over 2. Now when I take the square root, what happens?
X minus 5 equals the square root of 17 over 2.
Square root of 17 is over the square root of 2.
Root 17 over 2.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Shepherd.
What happens when I take a square root?
There's 2 versions.
Which are
Positive and negative.
plus or minus, yes.
Right. I was waiting for you to say that.
So then we move the 5 over, so x is equal to 5 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 2. Now I know many of you have gotten my lecture about it can't be positive or negative at the same time and blah blah blah. I'm not going to make you split it. Know that you shouldn't leave it that way. Now, should I leave my radical this way? Why?
Because it can be 7.
Can I have a radical on the bottom?
No.
So what do I need to do?
Fix it.
How?
Oh, 17 square root of 2 over 2.
Square root of 17.
Your idea is right, but the wrong numbers.
Root 17.
I'm trying my best. 2 root 17 over 2. I'm just saying different numbers in Shepherd. I don't really know.
So
Well, it's
this
gonna
would
over
be
2 eventually.
look.
Multiply root 2.
Root
Let's
4 over 2.
step over here for a
It's
second.
17.
Right now I have the square root of 17 over the square root of 2. To rationalize it, we multiply by the square root of 2, top and bottom. So this is going to give me on top the square root of 34 over 2.
Oh.
Okay? That's why I was saying your concept generally was right. Y'all were remembering back when we were doing all the trig that we did last year, a lot of things end up being like 2 root 3 over 2 or something like that, the way that we were solving them out, right? And so I think that's probably where the confusion was. But if there's a square root on the top and the bottom, the top one gets multiplied by whatever, like the stuff inside gets multiplied if they're both square roots. So
you can't have a fraction in a root.
the denominator can't have a radical in it. So we have to rationalize it, which is what I just did. So the final answer here would actually be x is equal to 5, really should be split, but plus or minus the square root of 34 over 2.
I've yet to understand why it can't be on the bottom when very clearly it's the same number, just written differently.
I don't know who decided that you can't. I just know that you can't, and they want everything rationalized.
Wanted to give us something
So,
else to do.
yeah. Meanwhile, in the book, they just change it to a decimal and leave it as 8.5 under the radical. So it's like 8.5 instead of
Oh, just make another
leaving it as a fraction.
chat.
But
Oh, okay.
that also would be totally fine. I don't really care. But I just wanted to review rationalizing.
Why
Yes.
doesn't the radical on the top?
Huh?
Why doesn't the radical on the top cancel?
Because there's not something I can take out. It's not a perfect square.
If it's not a mod.
This is producing a perfect square. Because really the bottom here is really the square root of 4,
Okay.
which then is the square root of 34 over 2.
That makes sense.
Don't start calling it.
I gotta be careful because sometimes my mom's in the car and when you text me, it comes up on the screen.
All right, 12. In parentheses, 2x plus 3 squared equals 169.
I say root it all.
Root it all. That's
Root it all.
Yeah, it's just 2x equals. It's
2x
just 5.
plus
This is gonna work.
equals negative. Well,
X equals 4.
no minus 13.
I just don't really
How?
All right, what's the square root of 169? Because I heard somebody say 5, and it's definitely not 5. 13.
No, I'm
It's still plus or minus, though. Plus or minus 13. Now, because this is an actual, I'm going to say an actual number, a number not in a radical, we do need to split this to finish solving it. Okay, the last one was a radical. There's nothing more I can do with it. This one's going to actually work out to work all the way down to a number. So I'm going to do 2x plus 3 equals 13 or 2x plus 3 equals negative 13, and then I just need to solve. So I'm going to work the left one, subtract 3, 2x equals 10, divide by 2, x equals 5, or over here, subtract 3, 2x equals negative 16, divide by 2, x equals negative 8. So my answer is x equals 5 or x equals negative 8. And if I plugged either of those back in, I will get 169.
I remember this being a whole lot harder.
Give me a second.
Well, I'm glad that it's easier now because that's what should happen. By year 2 of doing it, it should get easier.
Are we doing determinants this year? Because I hate it. It's a box.
Exactly.
And you had like the 0.
Oh, the discriminant.
0, 1.
Are you talking about determinants of a matrix?
Yes, I hated those.
The matrix
No,
is easy.
matrices are an optional pre-calculus thing, so we do not do them because they're not going to be on the exam. So we spend time on things that are actually on the exam.
1x, then it would like be 2x, and you just have to subtract.
Oh, do you have super
All right,
glue?
everyone's what?
Do you have super glue?
I do not. Everyone's favorite, completing the square.
Oh, I like this.
Hopefully this has gotten easier from last year as well.
I don't understand how because I was confused on it by the end of the year and I did no math over this one.
Well, only for missing.
Well, hopefully by the time we go over it today, the light bulb will come on. All right, so they have told us explicitly in the instructions that we need to solve by completing the square. Okay, now, in general, we would look first to see can I factor, because factoring's the easiest thing. And then I would go to completing the square from there. Let me back up. If I tell you on the quiz you have to do it by completing the square, even if it's factorable, you need to complete the square. I know it's annoying, but that's the reality of it. Now, if I just say solve, you can choose whatever method, and I'm going to guess most of you are not going to choose to complete the square because it's typically not something people enjoy, okay? Remember, half the middle term squared is my little catchphrase for this to help you, okay? So, are there factors of negative 9 that add up to 5?
No.
First and foremost, no. So that's the way we would always want to check, assuming we didn't know that we had to complete the square. Now, my next thing is going to be, okay, I'm going to move the 9 over, because we've got to move that to the other side to complete the square, because we're trying to make the left side a perfect square trinomial, okay? So I have x squared plus 5x, and then plus, remember we added a box, equals, we moved the 9 over. Whatever we do to one side, we got to do the other. So if I add a box over here, I've got to add a box over here. So I take the middle term, which is what's the middle number, so 5, and I need to cut it in half. Half the middle term squared, so 5 halves squared. Okay, now I normally leave it written like this on this side because that's the value that's getting squared to make my perfect square trinomial. On the right hand side, I go ahead and square it. That's purely a preference for me. If you don't want to do it that way, you want to leave it as 5 halves squared, whatever, that's fine. But you're assuming right now that you do not have a calculator. This would not be a calculator question on the exam. So this would be 25 over 4. Perfect square trinomial says that it's the first term is squared and this term is squared. Then this is 2 times the first term times the last term, which it is. So that's perfect square trinomial. So this becomes x, sine of the middle term, and then the value that's being squared, which is why I leave it this way. So x plus 5 halves squared makes my perfect square trinomial.
Where did the 5x go?
Huh? What do you mean, where'd it go? I factored, so it's gone. If I remultiply this through, it should equal this. Equals over here. I'm going to get a common denominator to make my life easier. So I'm going to multiply this by 4. So I've got 36 plus 25 is
57, 61.
61 over 4. Now I'm back to, I've done the hard part. I'm back up here now to taking the square root of both sides. So x plus 5 halves is equal to the square root.
Plus or minus?
Just going to see if somebody was finally going to tell me plus or minus. Yes, plus or minus the square root of 61 over 4. Well, what's the square root of 4?
2.
2. Is there a square root of 61? That's like a perfect square? No, so I'm going to write this as plus or minus the square root of 61 over 2, like that. And then I just need to move the 5 halves over. So x is equal to negative 5 halves plus or minus the square root of 61 over 2.
Can we just say like x equals negative 5 plus or minus root 61 all over 2?
Yes.
Is that more correct, or is it just 2 separate ways to do it?
It's just 2 different notations. So yeah, so what Daniel just asked is if we can write it this way instead, and I'm going to show it to you so that you know either notation is fine. If this was a multiple choice question on your exam, just not super inclined to be, but if it was, they may write the answer this way, they may write it this way.
I like the top.
I like the bottom, but that's just me. But they could write it either way. If you're checking the answer in the book, they could write it either way. They may actually take this down and give you a decimal number. I'm not sure. I don't know. The answer's not in here. So.
What? Why are you laughing? You're like making noise. I didn't do anything.
All right. 17.
Gotta breathe.
George?
Yeah, we're going to do this one. Okay. We're doing an odd one, both in number and type. 2x squared minus 7x plus 9 is equal to x minus 3 times x plus 1 plus 3x. And this is still completing the square problem.
I believe in Shepherd.
Miss Coy, should we make the right side look like the left side with the factoring?
Yeah, so I would go ahead and multiply the right side and combine like terms. So on the left, we keep everything the same for the moment. Over here, I've got x squared minus 3x plus x, so minus 2x minus 3, and then plus 3x from the stuff that was outside.
X squared minus x minus
So I'm just going to rewrite the right side for a second. So x squared plus x minus 3 equals this stuff over here. So I know that this is a completing the square problem. So I'm just going to move the x's to the left and the numbers to the right. If I was unsure if I needed to complete the square, I'd move everything over and see if I could factor first.
Move everything over?
Yes.
Like everything to one side?
So it equals
Yeah,
0.
actually, let's go ahead and move it over. Let's pretend we don't know that it's completing the square so that we can see what this would look like. All right, so I'm going to move everything over. So I've got now, subtract the x squared. So I've got x squared, subtract x minus 8x, add the 3 plus 12 equals 0.
You got plus 12.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I left in negative.
So at this point, I would see, can I factor? Are there factors of 12 that add up to
Yes.
negative 8?
6 and 2.
Negative 6 and negative 2.
Negative 6 and negative 2. So I would do that. We're just going to do it that way because you don't need to complete the square, and so it's unnecessary. So this would be x
Positive 6.
minus 6
What?
and x minus 2.
Yeah,
Because when I multiply two negatives, they get a positive. When I add them together, the two negatives keep it negative, equals 0. So then set them equal to 0. X minus 6 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. So x equals 6 or x equals 2.
What would your answer be? Like, what would your answer look like if it asked you to complete the square?
So, good question. If I needed to complete the square, I would move the 12 back to the right. So I'd have x squared minus 8x plus a box is equal to negative 12 plus a box. Half of this term squared is what?
4.
So
14.
4 squared, I would leave it like that here. Over here, I'd write it as 16. So this is a perfect square trinomial now. This would be x minus 4 squared equals, over here it'd be positive 4. I would take the square root of both sides. So x minus 4 equals plus or minus 2. Then I would split it, x minus 4 equals 2, or x minus 4 equals negative 2.
Oh, wow.
Add that, x equals 6, or x equals 2. So you get the same answer either
I
way.
like the left one.
Yes, if they tell you you have to complete the square, then you need to do it like the right. But if they just say solve, which is what most of the time it's going to be, see if you can factor first, because that should be the easiest thing to do. Completing the square works, quadratic formula will always work. Yes, Cash? You look like you have a question.
I forgot what I was going to say. I got
Okay.
distracted.
No, like,
We were distracted.
My pages are all out of whack.
Question, okay, I found it again. So,
Okay.
in the x minus 4 squared equals 4, that part, you take the square root of both sides. So, like,
Yes, Cash.
I just like, when there's a negative inside a square root, doesn't it, like, not work?
It's not plus or minus what's inside. It's plus or minus the whole square root. Because if I re-square it, if I square negative 2, what do I get? 4. If I square positive 2, what do I get?
4.
Okay, so either way I get the same thing. So when I take the square root, it has to be plus or minus.
Okay, that makes sense.
What about the square roots? I meant taking the root of a negative.
That
Yeah.
gives you an eye.
I meant
All right, one quadratic formula problem. So again, if you're told you have to use the quadratic formula, even if it's factorable, you need to use the quadratic formula. So number 20, 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 equals 0. As a general rule, quadratic formula is my last resort. Some people really like it and use it on everything, even things that can be factored and are super easy. If it just says solve, I don't really care. If it tells you you have to use the quadratic formula, use the quadratic formula. So, Who knows the quadratic formula?
Opposite
Negative
of
b
b
plus or minus the square root of negative 4 b squared
B squared
minus 4ac all over 2.
A.
A.
A is often 1. In this case, it is not. Ryan, you look really
I'm
confused.
surprised everybody knew it.
I used to use the German.
What?
What is
Einstein.
There's another quadratic formula that like is used in Europe, so I had to learn this when I moved here.
What's the German
I don't remember it anymore, but it's easier for like ones that have one. Like 1 plus 5.
All right, so I'm going to plug things in. The sign goes with it. So in this case, B is negative. A and C are positive. So I have negative B, but my B value is negative, so it's actually going to be a positive number. So 3 plus or minus the square root of B squared. So negative 3 squared is 9. I'm going to go ahead and write it that way. Minus 4 times 2 times 1 all over 2 times 2.
Give me the cash.
4 times 2 times 1 is 8. So I'm just going to replace that so I can save having to write so much. So I end up with 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 8.
Just 1.
1. So I'm just going to get rid of the square root and write it as 1 over 4. At this point, I would split it. So I've got 3 plus 1 over 4 or 3 minus 1 over 4. And technically, these are x equals. We just don't normally write it. So then I've got 4 over 4, so x is equal to 1, or x is equal to 1/2. Now, what that tells me is this probably was factorable. It definitely was factorable. But it said to use the quadratic formula, so we did it this way.
How do you know it was factored? Just from those.
Typically, if they're like whole numbers or fractions, like not like weird fractions, or if they're decimals, it's factorable. My zeros. But I also looked back and was like 2 times 1, I would just pair the 2 and the 1, but both make them both negative, and then that would be.
I forget how to factor if there's an A.
So we would do the arch method. So 2 times 1, so factors of 2 that add up to negative 3 would be negative 2 and negative 1.
Where's
So
the
then-
negative 3 come from?
The middle term. They have to add up to equal the middle
Would
term.
it be, if we factored it, would it be 2x minus 1, x minus 1?
Is the final?
Yeah, if we were to factor.
I'll find out. I'll show the work.
X minus 2x minus x.
So then we would take out the greatest common factor. So 2x would leave us, oh wait, this is squared, with an x minus 1. Take out a negative 1 over here. That would leave us with an x minus 1. So then 2x minus 1 and x minus 1. And then I would just solve it that way.
Oh, okay.
So under ordinary circumstances, I would have factored this, not use the quadratic formula. This was a kind of easy quadratic formula. They're not all that easy, but anyways. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Then you can have papers.
She did factor it.
But what did you think I was just doing?
He asked him
Did
to
you
stop.
do it in your head?
No.
Wait, I lost my book.
All right, problems. If I can find all my papers here. 9, 11, 13. I forgot 5. Go back and add 5. 21, 24. 47 and 51. The last two, you can choose your method. The other ones you need to do by whatever it says to do. Okay, the first one says by graphing. It'll be like the number 6 that we did, the way that you'll do that one.
How do we get out of this class?
22. What I'm going to do, since it basically took us the whole time, is I'll give you time tomorrow to work and do the notes for the next section tomorrow. And then it's a long weekend. That way we don't have homework, all the things. I want the weekend off. I'm sure you do too.
I forget what you said by choose. Just choose when to.
It says, like the instructions say to choose your method.
Oh.
So those ones, I don't care what method you use. I mean, you may have to choose a certain method for it to work, but.
Because
51 may or may not require you to do some synthetic division.